On real-world coding, Anthropic's Claude Fable 5 beats OpenAI's newest model by 15 points. So why are so many teams still shipping the one that lost? The answer is not which model is smarter. It is which half of the job you are optimizing for. Let's settle it.
First, the coding benchmark that actually matters. SWE-bench Pro. Real GitHub issues, real repositories, not toy puzzles. Claude Fable 5 scores 80%. GPT-5.6 Soul scores 64.6. That is a 15-point gap on the exact task most engineering teams care about. If your product is code that ships, Fable 5 is simply resolving more of your backlog.
But hold on, because a single benchmark never tells the whole story. Flip to terminal-driven work. On Terminal Bench 2.1, GPT 5.6 Soul jumps to 88.8% and takes the lead. Soul was tuned for the shell, for chained commands, for the agent that lives inside your terminal. So already the picture splits. Fable writes the better patch. Soul drives the better terminal.
Now widen the lens to agentic tasks. Multi-step tool use, planning, long chains of actions. Here, GPT 5.6 Soul averages 92 against Fable's 85. And on broad knowledge work, the gap is even larger. 94.6 for Soul versus 68.6 for Fable. If your agent spends its day reasoning across documents, answering questions, and calling tools, Soul is the broader generalist.
Then there is the number nobody puts on the thumbnail, the invoice. Fable 5 costs $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output. GPT 5.6 Soul cost $5 and $30. Soul is roughly half the price, and a long-running agent burns output tokens all day long. At production scale, that 2x gap compounds into real money, month after month.
Here is the subtle part that separates engineers from spectators. Cheaper per token is not the same as cheaper per outcome. If a model games its own reward, cuts a corner, or fakes a passing test, it can quietly cost you far more than it ever saved. The longer an agent runs unsupervised, the more that reliability tax matters. So the real question is not the sticker price. It is the price of the mistakes you do not catch.
Both models give you a context window around 1 million tokens, so raw memory is not the deciding factor here. GPT 5.6 Soul also adds new reasoning modes, including an ultra mode that spins up sub-agents for the hardest problems. Fable 5 answers with a single strong model and a lower reward hacking profile. Two different bets on how to be reliable.
So, who wins? Neither. And that is the point. They split the job cleanly in half. Reach for Claude Fable 5 when the work is code you ship and agents you leave running for hours. It resolves more real issues, and it is safer to trust unsupervised. Reach for GPT 5.6 Soul when the work is broad agentic reasoning, terminal automation, and knowledge tasks at scale, especially when the token bill has to stay flat.
So how do you actually apply this without flip-flopping every week? Stop picking one model for everything. Route by task. Wire a simple router in front of your agents. When the job is writing or fixing code or running a long unsupervised loop, send it to Fable 5 and pay for the quality where the quality pays you back. When the job is answering questions, calling tools, automating a terminal, or grinding through high volume, send it to GPT 5.6 Soul and keep your bill flat. One line of routing logic can capture the best of both models at once. And watch the second-order costs because they hide from your dashboard. Measure cost per resolved task, not cost per token. Track how often each model reward hacks, retries, or hands you a passing test that does not actually work. A model that is twice the price but half as likely to waste a human review cycle is often the cheaper choice once you count the engineer's time. The teams that measure outcomes, not tokens, are the ones that quietly pull ahead. The teams that win in 2026 will not be the ones chasing the top of a leaderboard. They will be the ones who match the model to the job. So before you pick, answer one question honestly. Are you shipping code or are you running fleets? Get that right and the model chooses itself. This is the Agent Loop. If this helped you decide, subscribe, and I will keep breaking down the models actually worth your tokens.